powers, I suppose. Things like mind control, teleportation, astral projection, invisibility, genetic mutation, reanimation.
Well, excuse me for a sec. Reanimation? Really? So you're telling me what? My father was Dr. Frankenstein?
That was Anna Torv and Joshua Jackson in a scene from the pilot of Fringe. J.J. Abrams, welcome to Fresh Air.
Thanks,
So, J.J., why don't you start by explaining that explanation? What's going on in your show?
Fringe takes place in this sort of weird gray area where what we know to be true and what we know to be possible is sort of pushed just far enough that it's preposterous. And at the same time, every day, you read in the paper online, you read about insane medical and scientific events that are occurring or breakthroughs that are made. And so we wanted to make sure that it's clear in the show that these are the kind of things, this is the sort of world that we will be playing with.
It seems like the pilot draws a little bit on the X-Files and a little bit on Altered States, and maybe even on some weird things that you wouldn't want to take credit for, like The Cell. What's the tone you're trying to set, and how much emphasis are you placing on the show's look and its sound?
I think that, first of all, the show, without question, was inspired by a whole slew of things. I was a huge fan of David Cronenberg films when I was a kid. I loved Altered States. The Twilight Zone was my favorite show of all time, and certainly the idea of doing a series that is, on the one hand, a procedural, that is some mystery or crime that is solved every week, mixed with some kind of odd science fiction or genre, leads you, without question, to the X-Files. So the influences were enormous, and all those shows, The Night Stalker and those movies relied heavily on the look and the sound. Even the Cronenberg films, the early ones may not have been as obviously stylized as something, like The Cell, for example. The fact is that the visuals were the things that really landed often. Scanners, the guy's head exploding, and the things that he would do that were so insane. Videodrome, having characters reaching into their bodies and pulling out VHS tapes. It was ridiculous. So to me, what you see and what you hear, it's a visual medium and an oral medium. So I think that obviously we're trying to use that stuff as well as possible.
The first time you directed, I think, on television was an episode of Felicity, and that's not that long ago. Is that correct?
Yes, it was 2 episodes of Felicity, yeah.
So you just jump ahead not too many years, and instead of directing Kerry Russell, whom you helped make a star, you're directing Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 3.
With Kerry Russell.
With Kerry Russell, yes. So what's the difference between becoming a director on a giant movie set like that with such an established movie star and still doing the sort of directing that you want to do?
With Mission Impossible, it was an incredible thing. From the very beginning, Tom said to me, this is going to be your movie.